All right, guys, thanks for tuning into the video. Obviously, by the thumbnail, if you chose to watch this video, you obviously have an interest in these portable heaters. I've had many different types of portable heaters, many different brands. I like them all. They all function the way they should. I have no doubt that this one will as well. It does have a very simple feature set. It's basically just a dial. You turn it on, light the pilot, and go anywhere from 0 to high. High is 12,000 BTUs. So 12,000 BTUs fits it somewhere between a buddy heater and a big buddy heater. So it's kind of a nice little fit. I think the size is very similar. I don't own a big buddy heater, but I do own multiple regular buddy heaters. I have used them to heat up all kinds of spaces, all the way from the back of my truck. If you've watched any of my camping videos, just use it in there, take the chill off when it's just cold, but not like crazy cold. Not cold enough to mess with a diesel heater. Same thing with doing sporting events, sitting out at campfires. I'm sure we've all done it. You're sitting there, you're nice and warm up front. Maybe your knees are burning hot from the campfire, but your derriere is freezing. What I have done in the past is I've always taken one of these, and if it's that kind of cold or if there's a breeze, I'll put this behind the chair, crank it up, let it heat the back end of me. Fire keeps the front end of me warm. But this one is from Camplux. Camplux has been a long time friend and sponsor of the channel, and they don't pay me. They just send me the products and ask me to try them out and show them to you guys. So that's what we're doing today. So you can run this on the disposable 1-pounders. The 1-pounder supposedly, I have not tested it yet. I think I will try, but this is supposed to go for about 6 hours on full, 12,000 on your disposable 1-pound containers. It will also run on a 20-pound container. They don't send you the hose, so you have to have an adapter hose. I do happen to have one, but I'm not going to connect it to a 20-pounder here because it's unnecessary for the video. I think what we're going to do is we'll show you the startup process, what's required, how it heats up, things like that. So the unit is a lightweight unit. It only weighs 9.4 pounds. With the propane attached to it right now, it probably weighs, maybe 7 pounds, 8 pounds. I don't know how much those containers weigh when they're full, but I know they hold 1 pound of propane plus the weight of the container. So it does have a piezo igniter. All right, so on this heater, it does come with a built-in light. Thought it was like an LED indicator. It's actually a light. You actually pull the handle off, flip it over. There's a battery tray right under here. You open up the battery, put in 2 AA's, and then the switch to turn the light on is right here. And so that's kind of nice. I don't know that there's any more features, just on and off. Yeah, so, kind of nice to leave the light on in a dark, dark room if you, don't want to lose track of where the heater is. And it just provides a little extra light. It should be good enough to warm up, anything over 100 square feet, 10 by 10, probably up to maybe 300 square feet, depending on how high you have it and, obviously the conditions and the outside temperatures. It does have a, what do they call that? A anti-knockover device. So if you do happen to tilt it, it's supposed to shut off completely and automatically. It does not have an O2 sensor in it. So anytime that you would run one of these in a smaller enclosed space, you do want to make sure that you do have a little bit of ventilation coming in, to offset the burning of the propane. They do generate condensation, so a little bit of air, moving around helps quite a bit. If I use these in an enclosed space, like in the back of my truck or in a tent, I'll run a fan in there just to move air around to help keep the condensation down. But, there's nothing you can do about it. Propane creates condensation. So know that if you're going to run these in an enclosed space. And also you do have to have some ventilation because, these things are and can be deadly if you don't treat them with the respect they deserve. So I think what we'll do is I'll show you what we've got as far as the connection point is. It's very simple. It's one simple screw-on connector right here. It does have a bit of a filter on it. You can get extra filters for it. You should change them annually, they say. It has the simple dial. So you've got on, pilot, and high. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll put a tank in it and we'll get this thing started up for you. So we'll screw in our tank just like this. A lot of times with these things, you've got to be careful with the threads. This one did just fine. I know I've got an additional heater that can be a real challenge to mess with. So we'll get that in, make sure it gets all the way in and seated, just like that. Push it back down, fits perfectly. Nice and flush right there. What we'll do is we'll turn the dial from off to right up before pilot. We'll hold it down. We'll try and get some fuel circulating through the all the components inside there, so that when we hit the piezo, that our pilot light will strike. All right, so we probably got enough fuel in there right now. We'll go ahead and hit the pilot, see what it does. And there it is. You can probably see it right here. So the pilot is on. You may not be able to see it with the little screen right there. Pilot's on, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and let that pilot run for just a couple seconds here, and then we're going to slowly but surely turn the heat up from low. We'll kind of burn it in a little bit, let it kind of heat up that ceramic plate at a reasonable level. So we'll try that. So we'll turn it up just a little bit. That should allow that panel to fire up, which you can see that it's doing. So after everything is ready and it starts to warm up enough, that popping, flashing will kind of go away, and it should start to turn a nice orange. So I can already feel the heat coming off right here, and the heat's pretty darn strong. It wouldn't take long to ventilate this room. I do have the door open behind me, which I'm getting all the air from the rest of the garage and shop area. So we'll let that do its thing, and I'm not too concerned about having any oxygen depletion in this room. So as you can see, we're starting to get a little bit of a red glow. We'll go ahead and let that do its thing for a couple minutes, and then we'll turn it all the way up. All right, we'll go ahead and crank it up to high. So we're at full blast right now. We will wait to see what the panel does up here, how much heat it starts putting out. Should start turning into a nice bright orange here very quickly. All right, so as you can see, we are pretty much at full blast heat. It's a nice bright orange. The heat generally comes up straight out, and then it rises pretty quick. They don't recommend that you cook or anything like that on these things. I do have an older video where I basically hacked up an old wood stove fan, put a notch in it, and you can rest them on top of here. And then what they'll do is they'll get hot enough to actually use that fan, and it does work very, very well. It allows you to put the heater farther away from you, and you can actually get that hot air circulating instead of having all that hot air, right here and rising. I think what we'll do is I'll find that fan real quick. I'll come back, I'll put it on here, see if it fits on this one. When I made the other one, I made it for the other smaller heater, but we can at least maybe see if it will do what I say it did on this particular one, just so you can have, and again, disclaimer, they don't recommend that you use any external devices with this thing, but I know that it works, and it worked well, as long as it's not touching any of the plastic, it's only touching the metal. All right, so we made a quick adjustment. This thing gets really, really hot. So you want to make sure that whatever you put this on is going to be metal or something that is kind of impervious to the heat. I had it sitting on this plastic cutting mat, and all of a sudden I touched it and the mat was super hot. So what I did was I went ahead and put a couple boards and a cutting board right here, try and let the wood absorb the heat. Probably not the best place to put it on wood. I would definitely recommend that you put it on some kind of a metal table or some kind of a metal stand. What we'll do is we'll see if this one works. Just for now, I'm just going to go ahead and set that guy right on top of there. Now the heat should heat up that bottom plate and get that fan to spin. All right, so as you can see, the fan took off, starting to do its thing. I'm standing back behind the camera, and so it took off quickly. It just didn't do anything for a minute, and then all of a sudden, there it went. So you can actually put your hand here, you can feel it start to move the hot air. Now again, if you're gonna do something like this, I highly recommend You do it in such a way where you're not going to have this heat melt the plastic behind it, which I know it will. So right now we're just doing it for a demonstration just to show you that that could be done. I would actually make something that would hold that thing out here just a little bit further away from all the plastic. But these things work like a champ when you do that. You could also put a metal guard behind it or something, so it doesn't distort the plastic right behind it. And while it doesn't seem like a lot, just moving that little bit of air around makes a huge difference in getting the heat to circulate in whatever space you have it in. So we'll just leave that guy there for now. If it burns the wood, I don't care. But I would definitely recommend that you put it on a metal surface. So let's test the anti-tilt. We'll see how far we got to tip it over before it shuts off. So we're about 45, 50 degrees, roughly 45, 50 degrees. It shuts off. So that works. It does not kick back on automatically. So if we want it back on, we're going to go ahead and restart the process, hold down before we go to the pilot. And we can hit the pilot just like that. Pilot's lit back up again. As you can see, the fan is slowing tremendously. So what we'll do is we will crank this thing all the way back up, and that fan should start picking up speed, which it is. And so that's it. I mean, that's all there is to this guy. Like I said, they don't recommend you use any other devices, but if you do it safely, it does work very well. All right, we're on high again. We'll go ahead and we'll put our fan right in front of it, just like that. Now, the fan should be higher. If it was sitting up higher, it would catch more heat, but it will get these top fins and it will fire back up again. And it's just a waiting game. It takes a minute for everything to heat back up again. It cools off quickly. You definitely want to keep anything flammable away from this thing. And if it does fall over, you want to make sure whatever it falls over onto is non-flammable. So sleeping bags and clothes and things like that don't belong anywhere near this heater. They will catch on fire or they will melt. So definitely keep that in mind. And so there you can see right now, the fan's starting to go all by its lonesome. That just tells you that it's getting close to temp. Once it actually gets to temp, it will take off. Probably be another 30 seconds or so. I'll fast forward it for the sake of YouTube, and you don't have to sit here and watch me watch it. But this is the stuff we do. We sit here and wait for things to happen. But anyway, that's it for the video, guys. Not a lot I can tell you about this guy. I mean, it is what it is. You know, 6 hours on a tank, that's great. I mean, you can run one tank, you know, and you could run it, you know, all night if you were forced to shelter up, or if you were forced to, you know, be in an emergency situation where you would put this thing to use. So anyway, if I have a link and a discount code, I'll put those in the bottom. I'll definitely have a link. I don't know if we're going to get a discount code on it or not, but as you can see, the fan works pretty well. I was standing behind the camera about 5 feet and I could feel the air moving, which was kind of nice. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next video.